Hey everyone, I just want to let you know that thanks to our friends over at Anchor FM, we're now able to bring you Starlost Seas on a bunch of new platforms. You can now find us on Spotify, Google Podcast, Breaker, Radio Public, and Apple Podcast. If you guys are interested in checking it out, make sure you check the description down below, and without further ado, thank you so much for the support you've been showing, and let's get into the episode. Wave! Kay, you better put both hands into that wave!
Make me.
Oh god, I almost
Bit-
spilled my coffee.
I know where you
Get in
live.
the car, Cryo!
Alright, well, it was a great session, guys.
Bye!
Welcome to Starlost Seas.
Hi!
Have a fun time editing that.
Oh yeah, the first camera slot.
Woo! Love making life difficult for Noah. That's what
I
this
hate
entire
my life.
session is gonna be. Speaking
What?
of this session, I'm so very excited. Last session was wild. A bunch of crazy shit happened last session.
Dolus killed himself.
Yeah.
That's a great way to open it. Are we past the first minute yet? Because, there goes ads.
You've got like 3 or 4 that you're gonna have to like just mute out of that first minute.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, don't worry about it. Welcome to Starlost Seas, where last we saw our fair party. They had finally made it to Shadestep, engaged in the conference. Twink discovered that an avatar of ultimate evil had been summoned to the world, and that was going to be the conflict for the world leaders. Somehow Twinktania managed to land themselves in the conference, where everything was surprisingly hunky-dory, considering he was pretending to be a world leader. Sox met his old friend Petrin. Lotus
You're
destroyed
going
his
2
shop.
sessions back at this point.
I am.
I made it
because
worse.
last session, all of that suddenly changed when Dolus was told by Kaeli that he had to kill Iliac, a strange Aarakocra who had showed up, who was quickly revealed to be an alternate version of Dolus. All of you battled it out right in the middle of the Royal Promenade with shadowy versions of yourselves who seemed to disorient you upon impact. And eventually, after Iliac attempted to assassinate Maya, you brought an end to him. His body was hidden in the small pocket dimension that Kaeli provided to Dolus, and you all took a brief respite in your apartment when Lorelei knocked on the door, claiming that Lotus had requested her. As you all rushed back down to the Bor de Lais to try and figure out what was happening, you arrived at the harbor just as chaos broke out. 4 separate ships all opened fire on the Bor de Lais, and it responded in kind by someone on the top deck unleashing about 21 magic missiles in retaliation. You all watched as a cannonball struck the Bor de Lais, hit its gunpowder reserves, and the whole thing went up sky high. And that is exactly where we are going to begin our session. You are all about 300 feet still up the road from the harbor.
Sox immediately breaks into, if he wasn't already in, a dead sprint.
You're all in a... I mean, you all stopped in a brief moment of shock as the ship exploded.
Yeah. The second that sort of ring dies out, he is full tilt heading toward the ship.
Okay?
Dolus starts flying because he flies faster than he walks.
Okay. Dolus
Lotus
takes off, Sox is
noticing.
sprinting.
Lotus, noticing that Dolus took off, will also take off.
Okay, so in the middle of the crowd, the 2 Aarakocra shoot up into the sky over everything. The cannons on all those ships have just stopped. The damage to those ships seems minimal, but the Bor de Lais is on fire. There's a huge plume of smoke coming up into the sky.
We'll see
Twink should take
if
this
that was
time
logical.
Sorry, Twink should take his time to activate his guardian armor.
Okay, Twink does the typical 2 fists together, his guardian armor activates. Lorelei, right next to Twink, just sort of drops to her knees in shock as she watches the ship that she has sailed on for a decade now going up in flames.
I think I'd like to more slowly walk up than everybody else to sort of like stay back and observe everything from a distance.
Okay, so you just walk down to the harbor. You're probably... You're gonna get there right around the same time Twink would. If Twink, are you still heading towards the boat?
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, so you and Twink get down there around the same time. The Aarakocra, you're both up over the boat at this point. There's lots of smoke in the air.
Where am I?
You would be sprinting down onto the dock about this time.
Okay.
Can I see anyone? Can I hear, like, any cries for help? grunts
There's
of pain.
lots of screaming from the general harbor around, lots of shouting. You can't hear anything on the Bor de Lais itself. You can see on the dock there are crew members that you kind of recognize as they've been on the boat with you, jumping down onto the dock, but no one specifically named that you'd recognize. You can't see onto the ship because there's too much smoke.
I want to dive to one of the people who are already in the water and just kind of like yelling over all of the screaming, just kind of say, "Was Archibald on the ship?"
So you dive down. One of the crew members is treading water, and you shouted at him. And he goes, "Last I saw him fighting on the top deck." And he starts he's paddling for the nearest dock that's away from it.
And I'm going to go towards the top deck.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Intact.
follow.
Yeah. Right around now, Socks, you're gonna be within Misty Step range of.
Socks immediately
top of the
Misty
deck.
steps onto the ship
Yep.
and pulls out the frost brand, activating its ability to dispel all flames within 30 feet of him.
Okay, so you are going to jump up right around mid deck. You activate the frost brand, swoosh it down. Birds, you would watch as a ring of fire just immediately goes out.
And Socks, go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, the second his feet touch the deck, he goes, "Archibald, where are you?"
There is no answer.
Shit. Okay, can I look around and see if I can see anything through what I just cleared up?
The birds would be landing on the opposite side of the deck from you, and you would all probably notice pretty hastily up by the helm, hastily, that up by the helm is a figure that looks very familiar to you all. She's wearing different, like, garnishings and robes. And there is a hood instead of a mask, but it's an Aarakocra. It's a small Aarakocra.
Fuck.
And slung over her shoulder as the smoke clears from the fire going out is an unconscious Archibald.
And
I'm
Socks
flying up towards the helm.
You're flying towards the helm?
Socks rushes up toward it as
Okay. Okay. As you both rush up, the figure takes a spear that they have, slams it down, and there is a huge gust of wind. I need both of you to make dexterity saving throws.
Cool. It's a good thing I have a +3 in those. That's a 21.
Pretty good.
That is also a 21.
Okay, so neither of you are knocked prone, but you can't get any closer as a cyclone starts up around this figure.
Dolus, you're nearby, right?
I am on the ship, yeah, but I didn't run up
Yeah.
to that figure.
So Socks is going to turn back to Dolus and go, "Can you use your wind thing you used on the snakes to dispel this? Or counter it?"
I'm not sure that it would accomplish that really, but I can attempt. And then Dolus is going to try and gust of wind at this cyclone.
Okay, yeah, cast Gust of Wind.
During this, Lotus is just screaming at the top of her lungs, like, "Why are you doing this?"
You don't get an answer.
I guess the
You don't get an answer
is-
from that figure, but suddenly you hear a voice behind you in the fire go, "It's really quite simple. This is our job." And out of the fire steps a very, very familiar face to Socrates.
Oh no.
It's Kieran,
Fuck!
but wearing full black and white monochrome. And he goes,
I knew it.
Go on.
and he kind of just smirks at you, and he goes, "Well, that's her job. This is my job, and I need all of you to roll a 20, except for Mara. No
Wait,
modifier.
what did my gust of wind do?
Nat 20.
Nothing.
Cool.
Nat 20. Okay.
19.
I rolled
19.
a 2.
2. A 4. Dolus, Lotus, you both experience terrible, terrible pain. And you're both you both collapse to the ground. You're both going to take 5 points of damage, and you both pass out.
Cool.
Oh my god!
Jeez.
Meanwhile, Twink still down on the ground. You start hearing all of these whispers in your head, and you start seeing flashes of stars and dark clouds. You are restrained. You can't move, but you are still awake and aware of what's going on around you. Same thing with Socrates. Kieran kind of walks up around you and flicks Socks on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just gives you a little smile and goes, "Talk to you later, Socrates." And a strange void opens up in front of you as he steps in.
Socks is like, this motherfucker, I don't even know if this is the other one.
And then Socks, you watch as this other Aarakocra, who at this point you would immediately think is the other Lotus, looks at you with Archibald still slung over her shoulder and says, "When she wakes up, tell her I'll handle Mom." And then she jumps into the void after Kieran with Archibald.
And Socks kind of jerks to go after her, but obviously
Nothing
being
happens.
restrained. And it's just like Socks for a second just sits there in silence before just going, "God damn it!"
And then as the void closes, Twink and Socks, you are both no longer restrained.
And he just kind of drops to his knees.
Twink's gonna run up onto the deck.
Okay, yeah. So Twink, you can climb up. The ladder's pretty messed up, but it's still down. So you get up on the deck, and right as you go over the railing, there is an unconscious Dolus at your feet.
Yeah. I mean, give him a nice little smack.
Am I up there by now, I'd assume?
You give him a little, but yeah, if you're coming up with Twink, so you both come up. You give him a little bonk. It doesn't wake him up.
I'll try again.
Okay, the second one wakes him up. It kind of hurts Dolus.
Dolus just kind of he like fell like face first onto like the deck. He's just what? Just looks up.
Wake up.
What happened? Where? And I'm gonna look over and I see that the figures are gone, like the ones that the other people. I'm just like, where did they go?
Gone. Some damned portal.
Twink wants to check around where the portals were and try to see if there's any like residual traces of a arcane symbol or
is a very specific pile of this silvery dust.
Okay.
I think I. Are you talking?
Go Pulse. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, I'd like to see if like there's anyone like straggling in the water trying to like swim back.
Everyone in the water is swimming back really, really well. Can you make a perception check for me while you're looking around?
Yeah.
Dolus is gonna while he does this.
Twink's gonna touch the silver powder.
Dolus is gonna
nothing
go to
happens.
wake up Lotus.
Powder.
Nice.
Dolus, as you go up there is Lotus knocked out near the helm, but right next to it also, leaning up against the helm, is Eggled.
Leaning
And
against.
He does not look good.
Oh.
He is sitting there, like with his back to the steering wheel.
Is he alive or awake?
He's awake.
Okay.
Oh,
He's holding
Dolus
a
is going
wound
to-
on his side, and he's got a bunch of blood on his face as Dolus runs up to Lotus.
I'm gonna crouch down, and as I'm like shaking Lotus to wake her up, I like yell to him, "Are you all right? What happened?"
He kind of coughs and he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm doing great."
No response.
When Lotus wakes up, she's just gonna shoot up and like grab Dulce's shoulders.
They're gone.
No, you wake after a couple shakes.
Where did they go?
I don't know. They just left portals, Socrates said.
This is a good time to take note. The four of you who did those rolls, you're still hearing strange whispers in your head.
Do they seem to be coming from a direction, or are they just...
Nope, it's just this strange background noise you can't quite get rid of.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
collecting up all that silver powder that I'm finding.
Okay. Yeah.
Socks
Dolus
kind of...
then... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say he clambers to his feet and walks over to where Dolus and Lotus are.
So you come up the stairs to like the helm area, and you see the same thing. You see Lotus like grabbing Dolus holding her, and Eggold laying there.
Yeah.
What did I get with my 9 perception?
You're 9. You just see people swimming off to the dock.
Oh, all right, I'll go over to the party then.
Okay.
I was gonna say Dolus like kind of lets go of Lotus and he runs over to Eggold and he kind of like assesses him. He kind of starts like holding, like puts pressure on like his wound. He's like, Mara, like he calls back.
Yeah,
We need some berries.
I got something better, and I'll cure wounds.
Oh my
On,
god, he can
him.
use other ones.
Yep.
That's a
You
first.
go to try and cast Cure Wounds, and it fails. Eggold
Ooh.
kind of just sits there, and he's like, "Yeah, no, the the little elf already tried that." He's like, "And no offense to you, but I think he's a lot better at it than you are."
Does that
What
expend
happened?
the slot still?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
The spell just didn't cast. Like it didn't work.
I'll get some good berries to just calm him down then.
You put the berry to his mouth, and he like eats it, and then he like coughs a little. And he sits there, and he's like, "Yeah, I figured it out that it wasn't you pretty quickly."
How many of us were there?
Well, first it was just her. And then I called her out on not being her, and the other one showed up.
And
How did you
Twink,
know that wasn't
No.
me?
I'm good with people.
What did they do to you?
Well, the starry one hit me in the gut with something. And then Archibald and him went at it for a bit. And then all of the ships opened fire on us.
Unprovoked.
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Socks goes, where are Harmon and Walk?
Well, not Lotus threw Harmon over the side of the boat at one point. I don't know where walking.
Right.
We should probably get off of the ship before we talk more.
Yeah. And Socks,
Should we check? Maybe there are still people inside.
I'll check. One of you get
will as
Eggold
well.
off the boat.
You got this, Dolus. I'm faster. And then she's just gonna
And
go down. I
Socks
guess.
turns to Mara and goes, you said you have an ability to find people. Do you think you could find anyone on this boat?
Think so. I'll try. I'll what is it? I guess I'll go ahead and cast like guidance on myself to help any rolls.
Heck.
I guess investigation or something.
Yeah, make investigation as you're going down what's left of the stairs.
All right.
I'm also helping out.
Okay.
All right, that is 4 13.
13. You go downstairs. There's a lot of smoke in your face. It's not hard. Socks, knowing where Walk is, you go to the galley. He's not there, but the box of spoons isn't there either.
And Sox goes, doesn't seem like Walk was on the ship, but he could be anywhere inside of it otherwise. He was at least not in the galley.
There is a significant lurch as the structure of the ship starts to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are not going to have time to look for anybody else. There's water coming up through the stairs down into the cargo hold.
I was gonna say while they were doing that, I'd like to take and try and pick up Eggold and fly him over off the ship.
He makes a lot of pained noises as you do it, but you can do it.
Because I'm super fast, can I quickly check the sleeping quarters?
Yeah, no, make a dash in there.
And I want to get Lorelai's hat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Priority.
Is there anything on Dolus's bed?
Is there anything on Dolus's bed?
No.
There is not anything on Dolus's bed.
Yeah, then that's the only thing I grab. I'm assuming there's nobody in there.
It's empty.
Yeah. And I'm gonna reconvene with the other two.
And I assume we're just going up at that
Yeah,
point.
you're all running up off the top. It's the fire has sort of starting to reclaim the area that you put out with the Frostbrand sword.
Mm-hmm.
And the boat is slowly sinking into the harbor.
So are we able to get off without any
Now,
problems?
you're not going to be able to get off that ladder anymore. The boat has shifted.
Could we jump in the water?
Yeah, no, you can jump in the water.
I will.
Yeah, I'm like, Lotus is just going to fly up and out.
You're fine.
I'm gonna morph into a reef shark and
Like
first
you're going
I'll
to jump
yell
and then morph into a reef shark.
I'm gonna yell at Socks, hop on, and then turn into a reef shark.
And Sox is just like, oh, man, druids are weird, and he jumps off. He jumps off sheltering his bag, because he still knows
the cat.
Shoes is
Good job.
there.
Good job. Yeah, so you jump off, still holding on to the bag, and there is a reef shark to meet you there in the water.
And Sox, having full faith that that's definitely Mara, grabs the dorsal fin.
Yeah.
I'll just zoom back to land.
Twink, what did you do after you gathered up the silver dust?
Put it in the bag of holding, and then I'm just gonna swim back.
You just swam back. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So you were all sort of reconvening at where the jetty comes back up to proper dock, except for Dolus, who's on the dock with Eggle.
Yeah. I was gonna say I wasn't waiting for them. I'm looking for anyone, any kind of any of the people who were with or associated with those clerics that healed
The guards and the clerics. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can find a guard really quickly. They're kind of rushing in to see what's happening.
As soon as he sees him, he's like, "Where are there any clerics? He needs help." He's very kind of shaken.
One of them smacks another on the shoulder and points, and he just turns and starts sprinting back the way he came. It's like, we'll get help.
Right.
I assume Sox and Mara clamber up around this time.
Yeah.
Swim up.
Yeah. And Sox catches up with Dolus and is just and looks at Eggle and just goes, "How bad?"
Very.
And looks at Eggle and goes, "Think you're gonna make it?"
Oh, come on. I'm the Duke. I'll be fine.
Don't go cracking on us, okay?
And then he looks at Lotus as she's landing, and he's like, "You really hit hard, kid."
Sorry, I do that. But that's not me, so I shouldn't be apologizing.
Yeah, no, she made it really clear that she wasn't Lotus. She really did not like that.
And Socks looks over at Twink and goes, "Well,
I'm not there yet.
Oh, you're not there
Yeah,
yet?
no,
Okay.
Twink is
No, I am super slow.
Okay.
small man swimming.
And so Socks asks Eggled, "What do you mean by that?"
I mean, I asked her, Lotus, why are you doing this? And she screamed, I'm not Lotus, and kicked me in the face. So, you know. Generally a button I don't think you want to push.
That sounds about right.
Did she say anything else?
Just lots of angry things to Archibald about coming back and getting away, and
Back?
I was a little busy getting a hole blown in my torso.
Yeah.
You might want to ask Harmon when you find him. I think he was a little more engaged.
And Socks looks at Lotus and goes, "She did say that she would take care of your mother."
She did?
Dolus just kind of slowly head turns. She said, "What?"
Right before she walked through that portal.
Eggled suddenly starts coughing really hard, and there's like lots of blood coming up.
I'm gonna kind of lay him on the deck. I'm gonna again start just kind of applying pressure to his wound.
He goes, you know, kid, I think my gun might have actually been pretty useful if I'd had it.
Oh, that's right! Oh!
Oh.
It's not loaded. Also, if that was me, it probably wouldn't have done anything against me.
Right, you could catch bullets.
Yep. And she's gonna slowly lay it down next to him.
And he's kind of good. He's just gonna sit there. And he's like, where's the little guy?
Can Socks look back toward the deck and see if he can...
Wink is like
this-
15 feet off the dock at this point, swimming towards you steadily. There's like a
It's-
ladder nearby that he seems to be angling towards.
Socks goes, "Still currently swimming."
Tell him Duke of Egg was the best nickname I've ever had.
What do you mean, was? You said you're not
You don't
allowed...
get a You don't get a response.
Fuck.
Is he dead?
Eggold is not breathing.
Socks looks at...
I'm gonna go look for Hyman. And then she's just gonna take flight.
Hyman? You're gonna go look for Hyman?
Harmon.
We have a moment of brevity in there.
I'll have like gotten out of shark form at this point, see that he's dead, and pay my respects to nature as usual.
Dolus just kind of slowly takes his hands off of like the wound and like looks at his like now I'm assuming very bloody hands.
The blood is red and black.
Wow,
And black.
It is a very unnatural color.
cool.
And Socks looks at Mara and is just like, "Can you try again? One more time."
I don't know if it'll do any good, and I'll try again.
Okay. You're trying to use your healing magic. Does anyone want to do anything to try and assist?
What can I do? I'm a sorcerer.
Yeah, I don't really
I
think
think now would be the time, Ian, if you want to try your thing.
Am I there?
You're climbing up the ladder.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna see what's going on, and I'm gonna be like, "What's going on?
He's not breathing.
Laura, have you tried healing him yet?"
I can do it right now.
All right, 1 second. I'm gonna pull the bag out of the obsidian dice in it, and I'm gonna kind of dump them out. I'm gonna hold one up. I'm gonna hold it in my hands and kind of crush it into dust. And I'm gonna say, "Now's the time." And that's a 15. So he'll have
15?
to roll between
Okay.
15.
No, so now, Pulse, roll until you get something higher than 15 on your nat.
Wait, 1d20 or something?
Yep.
Never mind. It's fine. I forgot the audio split here. I gotta
13.
follow.
Fucking. Come on. What?
Oh, what? Hey, it's really good that you use that die.
Yeah.
6. Holy
Cool.
We'll
keep
get here
going
eventually.
We're gonna keep
17.
17.
17. What's your medicine bonus?
Where do I plus 7?
Okay. So, you sense this really unnatural surge of magic as Twink sprinkles this obsidian dust across. And your healing magic seems to become even more powerful. And all of a sudden, Eggold on the floor just goes... and like a bunch of blood comes up. And then he passes out. But he's breathing.
And Sox looks at Twink and goes, "What the hell was that?"
And Twink's just kind of putting the other die back in the bag at this point. Don't worry about it.
I'll look at my hands.
Dolus also looks at his hands and then reapplies pressure on the wound.
And
Okay.
Sox,
Is the wound still there?
The wound is still there. It's still bad, but he's up and breathing.
So I see the wound, then I'm gonna pull out my thieves' tools with my lockpick, and I'm gonna go ahead and start, putting some thread through it, and I'm just gonna start suturing him up.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Yeah, no, you start doing that. Make a medicine check.
15.
Okay, yeah, no, you're able to not make it worse. you're
Stops the bleeding, right?
Yeah, it stops the bleeding.
Okay, yes, that's the
It's
goal.
really- yeah.
That was the
Oh.
goal.
and Sox looks at Twink and goes, "Whatever it was, thank you."
Don't thank me.
Yeah. Around now, the guard are all starting to rush down. And you all really start to feel sort of heavy. And those whispers get louder and louder and louder in your head. And everyone but Mara suddenly just can't stay awake anymore.
I'm looking for Harmon.
Yes, you are.
So
Lotus is
during
running
this,
in
can I take a moment?
Yeah, no, you started.
my thing?
You're feeling heavy and
I want to do a
weak.
thing. I want to do a thing.
Okay.
While you guys were reviving Eggold,
Yeah.
I guess.
Meanwhile.
Lotus flies into the air, like 100 feet up, and then she's gonna stabilize like her flying, so she stops flying upwards,
Okay.
and then she's gonna take her mask off, just kind of look at the mask for a little bit. It always happens. This always happens. And then she's going to put her mask back on and then continue to look for Harmon.
Okay.
Or start looking for Harmon.
Roll a quick perception check.
That's not great.
Yeah, and with disadvantage.
And with disadvantage,
That's not great.
you put your
It's a-
mask back on.
It's a 10.
It's a 10. You can't spot Harmon in the water before your eyes start to feel extremely hard to keep open.
Fuck. And then she's gonna do her best to get to
Okay.
some sort of solid land.
Roll just another d20. Just a 20.
That's a 10.
That's a 10. Okay, so you managed to get down to like 10 feet over a dock when suddenly you just boom, and you just like clatter to the floor below you.
Oof.
And Mara, you watch as the three people standing around you all just collapse. And the clerics are all running up to you.
What What's
And
happening?
like everyone kneels down to start attending to the people around you. One of the clerics is like, "Are you all right?"
I'm good. I don't know what happened to them. Do you need help picking them up?
And they like agree. They're like, "Yes, yeah."
All right. I will enhance ability and bull strength.
Okay. So if you want to just heft Socks and Twig both over your shoulder, you good.
Yep.
Yeah. And they just start filing you back up to the promenade where you were. Like Delane eventually comes rushing down and he gathers all of you. And we're gonna jump to about 30 minutes later when they're putting you all in bed in your little apartment that they have made for you, and Mara is standing out in the main room with Delane.
Did
Me
Lorelai
included.
ever show up again?
You included. Lorelai's not there.
Is there
Dwayne.
7 beds in this apartment?
There's enough beds
Not
for
7,
all of
5
you.
beds?
Yeah.
That's pretty big. Okay.
Well, there are
big
four.
place.
There are 4 rooms. Each room has 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm in luxury.
Yeah.
Right? He said it was really nice in the last one.
True.
That's like a whole inn.
I know.
Yeah.
The Royal Promenade, man. You guys are set.
So 30,
But yeah,
30 minutes later.
30 minutes later, Delane is talking to you, Mara, just after everyone got all settled, and he's like, "Today has been a very chaotic day.
Yep. I don't know what to make of it. I was just plopped into all this.
I don't know what happened, Sahaba, but we'll figure it out. We're still pulling people out of the ocean and figuring out what happened. I'm going to have to ask you to stay here. And when they
Sounds
wake
good.
up, tell them that we will be back to talk to them. No one is to leave until then." And he kind of nods, leaves.
I'll like just slowly check in on everyone, see if they're like awakening at all.
They're all asleep.
Just kind of like sit there.
You can all take a short rest. You're going to be asleep for the next 2 hours.
What
Did
a
we get
short
healed
rest
any by the
do.
cleric?
The clerics were all there. They all attended to you. So let me see. You were all healed for an additional 6 healing off of whatever your short rest gives you.
Let's go.
Max
HP.
How
Yeah, I was
does
going to say Socks is back.
do I need long rest for my slots?
You do.
As a druid?
Yeah, for druid, yeah.
Okay. So used to warlock.
I
You do
believe-
have natural recovery, so if you want to use that ability, you can get extra slots back.
Yeah. Go ahead and
Okay.
do that.
So you can get up to a level 2 slot back or 2 level 1.
Isn't too
I
mad, though.
I'll do 2 level 1.
Remember, you only use cure wounds once, though.
Yeah, I used a lot of berries though.
That's true.
Like
Lots of
literally 3 slots of berries for people. You're fucking god.
Hey man, those god berries.
Yep. Just trying to
You
calm
can't
people
tell
down,
us-
man.
You can't advertise these god berries constantly and then get mad when we eat them.
I'm not a production line, man.
Yes, you are. You are the exclusive production line.
So who's back to max HP?
I would. I don't. Think
Everyone
I took
but
damage.
Lotus.
Yeah.
27 out of 31.
27 out of 31. So the 3 of you are all going to wake up around the same time. Lotus is still out.
I assume Twink and Socks were put in the same room.
Yes.
Yeah. So Socks kind of gets up dazed because he doesn't sleep, so that was really weird for him. And just kind of sits up and looks over at Twink.
Twink, you're browsing around this time, and you see Socks staring at you.
What?
Kieran, Lotus, Dolus. We're the only two unaccounted for.
All right. Well, another me can't be that bad. So
Socks just kind of cocks his head at you.
what?
Whatever they are, they're stronger than us. Or at least different.
Yeah.
Just this sort of awkward tension in the air.
Yeah. And Socks just kind of sighs and stands up all the way and goes, "How are you holding up?"
I'm good. I'm feeling good.
The door to your room was left open, so Mara, you would hear them waking up.
I'll like slowly walk over then.
You guys look up and see Mara standing in the doorway.
I'll like knock on the open door.
Hey,
Morning, guys.
Good morning. We were out all night.
Just about a couple of hours.
Yeah, no, it's around like 4. Mara, you'd be aware. Mid to late
Yeah.
afternoon.
It's about the afternoon right now. You guys knocked out. Surprised the elf knocked out too.
Yeah. Me
What time
too.
is it?
About 4.
Fuck, I can't remember what time that fucking dinner was supposed to be.
Can't remember.
I mean, his passive intelligence
Wait.
is pretty high.
No. Twig purposely would have not remembered.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
He
like,
doesn't
wait,
find
damn
that
it.
information relevant enough to keep in his memory.
In 1 year, not
Yeah.
the other.
Yeah, yeah.
And Socks goes, "What about the siblings? Are they up yet?"
I'll go check on him.
I was
And
gonna say,
I'll head
as
over there.
since they all woke up around the same time, Dolus, when he woke up, kind of like shot up. He kind of looked over and he saw like they were in like the apartment, and Lotus was still asleep on the other bed. He just plopped back down, like he chose not to get up and close his eyes again.
And Socks walks out into the main room after Mara.
This is a very important note that I have to note. The clerics removed your masks.
Oh, so
Oh.
I noticed that.
You would notice that, yes.
Okay, well, I'm scratch that. I didn't know that detail. So as
shit.
when I woke up, like
I'm like, that's why I want to tell you this right now. You'd notice.
cool. So scratch all that. As I woke up, I realized that I don't have my mask on, and I'd kind of scramble for it, like looking. Is it around me?
They're both on your nights.
Cool. I'm going to immediately like stick mine to my face and go over to put on Lotus's. And then I just do that, and then I just kind of
Back
sit
down in bed.
Well, I just kind of like sit, like I kind of sit down and then like flop back, like I'm not like laying fully. I'm just like,
You're
ah,
at
fuck.
a bit of a perpendicular angle. there.
yeah.
Got you. So Mara, you'd walk in and Dolus is just kind of like laying there.
Hey, buddy. How you holding up?
I'm fine. I feel fine, I suppose.
Come to check up on you. How's she doing?
She hasn't woken up yet.
Hmm.
She's strong. She'll wake up soon enough.
Tell. Just wanted to come make sure. Twink and Socks are awake right now. You want to come over?
And Socks is already in
Right.
the main room, just kind of passively listening in.
Right. And then Dola just kind of gets up, like starts like walking, kind of just looks at Lotus laying there. He's gonna like put the blanket over her, like on the bed, and like walk out of the room and close the door.
So while you guys go to talk, we're gonna meanwhile here. Lotus, you seem to open your eyes and you're in a strange, cloudy place. You're lying on a dark stone surface.
I want to sit up and I want to look around.
So you sit up and you look around, and it's just all this. It's just these dark blue, nearly black clouds in every direction you can see.
Is my mask on me?
Your mask is on you.
Hello?
You go to say hello and nothing happens. You can't speak.
That's not alarming at all. I want to stand up.
You stand as you go to stand up, something feels strange, and you realize you don't really have the form you'd expect to have. You go to stand, and instead of doing the motion to stand, you are just standing.
If I look down, what do I see?
You see nothing.
And it's just all clouds.
Just clouds, except for this dark stone branch that you thought you were lying on and now feel like you're standing on.
Which way of the branch gets smaller and which way of the branch gets larger?
The direction if you were laying down, your head would have been facing smaller and higher up.
I'm gonna towards where the branch starts getting larger.
Okay. You start walking, and you suddenly get the sense that you've been here before. You get the strange sensation that this is very familiar to you. And as you start moving, what you would consider walking, there is suddenly a hand that claps down on the
If
ahead of you. And
I source of the hand.
You turn and there's just an arm coming out of the cloud. Just a giant hand.
And it's not moving anymore?
It stays there for a few moments, and then it rises. And as it rises out of the branch, a stone doorway appears in front of you, where the hand was.
Oh boy. Oh fuck. And she's gonna walk towards the door, keeping an eye on her surroundings so that she doesn't get smushed by potential stone hands that come out of nowhere, and she's gonna open the door.
So as you open the door, you're suddenly washed with all of these images in your head of your childhood, and of Raiden, and of Dolus, and of the elemental plane, and you see your mother and your father. And then there's this sudden image that flashes and stays in your head really hard for a moment of you and Dolus sitting on a pair of thrones. And then you hear a voice that you don't recognize that just goes, "Oh, no, this won't do. You need to wake up." And suddenly you open your eyes and you're laying in the bed.
Lois?
And just as Lotus wakes up in that room, out in the main entrance, there is a knock on the front door.
Cool.
Socks turns to it and goes, "Come in."
The door starts to open, and Socks, a voice you very much do recognize, goes, Now, Socrates, you are always supposed to open the door for a renowned guest. Did your family teach you nothing?" Yep. There in the doorway is that star elf that Twink remembers
Just
immediately.
Twink with the Spider-Man meme.
You!
The Leonardo DiCaprio like getting up off the couch.
Yeah, just this.
Dolus just kind of like turns his head. Who?
This is okay. It's like Socks takes a second because he's like, I can't introduce her as Granny, and goes, "This is our Lashna. She is an elf we all refer to as Granny."
It's a
Right.
title you get once you're the oldest one. I mean, you probably won't get it.
What
Sox looks at her and goes, okay.
What if it's a male? Are they still called Granny?
No, that's why you probably won't get it.
Oh.
Is there a grandpa?
No. However, that's a risque question I have not been asked in a long time. She gives you like a little wink. She looks like any other. She looks like any other adult high elf. She's got really, really pretty white hair.
Probably looks better than Sox does.
It certainly looks less worn out than Sox fucking does.
and he goes, lovely to see you. I assume Delane got my message to you.
Oh, yes, of course. But not before I had heard about the werewolf shade on the promenade and the destruction of a ship that a certain bearded elf was on. Wondered who that could have been.
Only I did participate. It was me. Well, not the first one, but the second one. You know. Hi, Granny.
She just kind of nods at you. She goes, you, and she points right at Dolus, should check on your sister.
What? Excuse me?
You had a very, very bad nightmare.
Dolus is just gonna kind of stand up, like kind of confused, and then like rushes into her room.
Lotus would have gotten up by then.
Yeah.
Dolus kind of just goes, "Are you all right?"
I had a weird dream.
About?
I was in this. I'm gonna push him aside slightly and close the door.
Okay.
Right.
And I'll walk over and sit on the bed. It was a weird dream. I was in a cloudy place on a very big tree branch. And then I didn't have a form or anything. When I started walking up the tree, a large stone hand came out of nowhere, and then when it lifted, there was a door. And then when I went through the door, everything that I know came into my mind, and then there was an image of you and me sitting on thrones.
Dolus just kind of like gawks. He's like, thrones.
Yeah, maybe it's for Twinktania?
I don't think that we would be sitting on thrones in Twinktania.
I also don't think we're much of a sitting on thrones type
Right.
of people. And then there was a voice. I don't know who it was. It came out of nowhere, and they basically told me to wake up, and here I am.
Was it? Was it? And he kind of like points to his hand.
Mm-mm. It was a male, right?
No, it was female.
Oh, it was a female voice, but it wasn't her.
Right. Well, I was told that you had a nightmare by a woman. There's a woman showed up in the main area. She knows Socrates. She seems important.
Who?
I don't know. They call her Granny.
That's a weird name.
If I remember
It's because
correctly,
she's the oldest.
if I remember correctly, Sox actually did offer to Lotus to come with him to meet Granny. Before he talked, he talked to Delane.
I forgot about that.
Means Lotus forgot.
Lotus
about
forgot
Mhm.
about that.
Meaning
It's
Lotus
canon.
forgot about it.
Oh yeah.
Still playing with the character. On brand.
Dolus just kind of walks over. He's like, well, he puts a hand on her shoulder. He's like, I'm glad you're all right. Are you feeling okay from everything that happened?
Honestly, no. Didn't
Neither am I.
feel good punching you.
Right. Well, I couldn't imagine. I thankfully didn't have the need to punch you. Not that I
Yeah.
would.
She reaches over and kind of like squishes his stomach. Is like very squishy. Or the other you.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's the other one. It kind of like swats her hands. It's the other one.
Kind of like
He let
flexes up his
himself go.
stomach. He's like, oh.
Yeah, he let himself go. I
That's
could
not
tell.
me. No, I'm ripped. I'm shredded. I have an 8-pack.
He says like a 9-pack, like it's an odd number because he doesn't understand.
7-pack. Tupac.
There we go. Anyway.
And then, so he's
Anyway.
just like, right. He kind of after that he's like, right. They apparently said that they would take care, or at least you said take care of Mother, and I don't think that they mean tend to her in the hospice.
Are there hospices in the
There are
elements?
now. I said that, so now there are.
There are now.
Not, but how would they get there? How would they get back?
Same way they left the boat, I'd assume. They were opening portals, according to Socrates.
What should we do? We can't go back, really.
He kind of like, he kind of straightens himself to feign confidence. He's like, I'm sure we'll figure it out. For now, though, we should meet our guest.
Oh, Granny.
And then they're gonna, well, I'm assuming they both like walk out. Yeah. Into the
So
main.
You'd walk out into the main, and our Lashna Granny is now sitting at this point, and there is a platter of tea in front of her that the other three of you watched her summon out of midair.
Sock's
She
used
goes-
to this kind of bullshit. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hello. Are you feeling better now?
Yes?
You were having a very, very bad dream when I first noticed you.
I was somewhere.
You were all caught up in your own head. Oh, no,
Sucked.
no. This won't do. You need to wake up.
Socks
Hello,
looks
little
like-
bird.
Was it her?
Socks looks at Granny and goes, "What are you talking about?"
She's the one that woke me up.
Oh. He kind of looks, Dolus looks at Granny and is just like, thank you.
Not a problem.
I'm just gonna walk over and plop down onto one of the couches.
And she goes, would you like some tea?
No, thank you.
Do you
Coffee?
know where
No.
I was?
I don't know where you. Well, I do know where you were. You were asleep in that bed, but I don't know where you were when you were thinking of where you were when you were in there.
Socks after she
Wait,
offers
just
coffee.
seizes on the couch.
Socks after she offers coffee goes, Actually, I would kill for a cup of coffee right now."
The mug in front of you is no longer full of tea; it's full of coffee.
I'll take some coffee.
The mug in front of you is no longer full of tea, it's full of coffee.
Yeah.
Sox kind of
Twink.
takes it up and sips.
Got Irish coffee?
The mug in front of you is no longer filled with tea, it's
Apparently,
full of Irish coffee.
Ireland exists here.
It's full of Irish coffee. We'll think up another name some other time.
Errol coffee.
Twigtanian coffee.
Tanyan coffee.
If you have Twigtanian coffee, it's just a random collection of seawater from that
Just
lagoon.
Twinkby.
Drop a berry in mine.
Of course.
Sox sits down and goes, well, seeing as Delaine's message got to you after all the events, I assume you weren't coming for just a casual talk?
Well, I was coming for a casual talk. It also so happens that you almost died earlier today, and there was a few assassination attempts, etc., yada yada. International incidents. Happens all the time.
Do you know where Petron is? We lost track of him after the first attack.
He is with Illis. All of the envoys are with their representative.
Good.
He's fine. He told me, by the way, about your fuzzy developments.
Of course he did.
I'm not surprised.
Not sup. What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean?
Not surprised by what? That he told you, or that this exists?
Well, number one, you know I always know more than I let on, so I have been keeping an eye on you.
Of course you have.
Good job with the sea serpents, by the way. You didn't eat anyone.
Thank you.
Bad job on the vanishing for a month, though.
He also almost
Oh.
killed me once.
Ooh. When was that? Was that during the fog? I couldn't keep an eye on him during the fog.
Yeah.
You won't even try my berries.
Now, Sock. That's
Yes.
rude.
I did try one. He's just upset that the effect didn't happen.
You don't know there's an effect.
I think he might know that there's some kind of effect. Dolus
And
kind of like leans forward. He's like, "You remind me of someone I know."
Aarakocra. Elemental plane of wind.
Air.
The word, it changes. I do know one very lovely green-haired lady. No, black, green skin. These things get mixed up over.
Are you omnipotent?
No, I've just been around a long time, seen a lot of things, know a lot of people, know a few genies.
So how did you know about what happened on the boat?
Like I said, I check in on Socrates from time to time. After all, someone has to keep an eye on the werewolf.
Are you crying?
And she gives you a little nod.
I'll tell you about it later, Dolus.
Oh, thank you.
I want
It
to know
sucks.
too.
I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
sorry, I missed what you said, Ian.
He said
Wait.
he'd tell me about it later
No, before
About
that.
scrying.
if she
Oh.
was crying.
Okay. And Zox goes, so you know we picked off for a bit, and I assume you know about Archibald.
I do. Tried to keep a good eye on the boy when he was younger. Of course, it's strange. He's strange.
And now he's gone.
Well, not entirely gone.
Have you tried scrying on him?
I have.
And
He's in Ubua
He's in what?
with the little bird and the sparkly one.
Sox kind of leans forward and goes, So they didn't take him to another plane or anything like that?
Seems not.
And do you know if there's more of us? And he points at himself and Twink.
Well, see, that's the thing. I can try and scry on you, aren't you, but I just sort of end up with you.
Right.
They may have made a bit of a tactical error when they took Archibald.
How so?
Wait,
Well, because now I can see them.
so
Right.
you know about the other ones, correct?
Oh yes. All of the
Do you-
representatives and envoys know now.
Do you know about... Would you happen to know where they came from? Or why they came?
That is a bit of a heavier discussion. I'm
Why-
sure Fairmont and Harmon would prefer to be here when I told you, but so it goes.
Fairmont's here.
Fairmont's not here. That's why I think he'd like to be here when we talk about this.
Right.
Why?
Well, you see, there are a small group of us dedicated to keeping this sort of thing from happening.
Did you say Fairmont and Harmon?
Yes, old friends of mine.
Harmon, the captain, Harmon.
Missing an eye, wild hair, really likes guns.
That's the one.
One of my most reliable travelers.
Right.
He's just like,
Yeah. Even Socks is kind of like
it's that meme where it's all the geometry and shit. He's just trying to figure it out.
And she's like, you see, have you ever heard of how this world came to be?
Would Socks have?
No.
Okay.
None of you would have. And she nods, she's like, good. You shouldn't have. It's a secret. There's a reason it's called Starloss. Because that bright, beautiful star you see floating above us is dead.
What?
She walks over to the window. She goes, that star is just one half of an ancient being that made this world.
And where's the other half?
Fun little place called the Astral Plane. A long time ago, Bahamut and Tiamat did the one thing that no one ever expected them to do. And they worked together to overthrow the god that had created this entire realm. They split him into two. One half went to the astral plane, the other was left here as our star.
Right. And Granny,
Sometimes... Oh, no, continue.
Granny, I assume you know where we went when we disappeared for a month.
I've been informed.
Right.
Good networking. It's very important, Soccer.
I learned that from you.
Good. The being that created the world. The one half that is the star is inert. A physical entity. There is no mind there. The other half is malicious. Imagine being ripped in half. Kind of want to put yourself back together. We call him Vecnost. The Fallen.
Were we ripped in half?
I don't know. You see, that's the fun thing. Of all of the people who have come under his influence, entered his cults, and tried, generally, to reform him and bring about the end of all that is, no one has ever been two of themselves.
What is it
I
with you
suppose that
people
all
and
of
your
you are just as star-lost as he is.
What is with you people and your definitions of fun?
And Sox just kind of looks at Dolus and kind of shrugs.
So, could this be why I didn't fall asleep? There wasn't.
I'm assuming so. Who was the other one? I know that there was another who split like the rest of you. The Asimar.
Kieran. He left us
Where?
a while ago. We have no idea where he is now.
I will look into it.
Would it help your investigation at all if you were to get a hold of one of these other selves?
If possible, yes.
Dolus kind of like gets up. He like takes his glove off and he just kind of like he kind of like points it like at the ground. He's like, you know what to do. Just kind of like says it because he can't go back in.
There's a brief moment of quiet, and then you all watch as Kaeli appears on the seat opposite Arlashna. And Iliak's body appears on the table, kind of knocking aside some of the tea stuff.
Dolus kind of slowly turns to her. Not exactly what I meant.
Who the fuck is
Kylie
this?
goes. Kylie just does like a little hand clap.
This is Kaeli. She is a genie.
She has green skin and dark hair. And he points again at Granny.
And Arlashna kind of nods. She's like, old friends. Haven't seen each other in a very long time. And Kylie goes, I remember when she was little.
Sox is like,
Do you remember me when I was little? And she like is like floating over the table.
Lotus is fucking shell shock.
Sox is kind of looking between the two, and it's like, oh my god, they're the same person.
Dolus kind of nods.
Kylie is all of a sudden very small, sitting on Dolus's shoulder. And she goes, you met my kids! My kids, my birds. And she gives you like a little peck on the cheek.
Darts
Aww.
away.
And she goes, they're good. They're good. Take care of them. And then she goes, and you! And she's like in full size again in front of Dolus. And she's like, don't be rude. And she goes, hi, Lotus.
Hello.
And then she's
Wasn't
gone.
planning on it. Oh, okay.
Sox was about to chime in, and she goes, my name is Sox. Okay.
She knows your name. All of ours. And then he just kind of walks over. He's like, this is the other me.
And Arlashna kind of nods. She's like, yeah. Yeah, it is.
Was.
What's this was?
I'll take him elsewhere for this. And the body is gone. And she's like, you don't want to watch.
Right.
Can I watch? Can I go with you?
Actually, all of you are needed elsewhere. I'm needed elsewhere too, but I'll catch up to you. Oh, you might want to get that. And then she vanishes along with all of the mugs that you're all holding.
And Sox loses the grip of his coffee. He hasn't finished yet, and he's like, I had questions.
There is a knock on the door.
Sox this time
Go,
gets
Twink
up with
opens it.
Twink.
Why should you do that?
I don't know.
He's pretty cool.
He's at the door.
Who's at the door?
It's Delane and Lina.
Oh my
I
god.
got a friend this time.
Lina's just like,
And Sox goes, hello, Delane.
and he goes, you're all needed in the ministry room.
All of us.
I was told Arlashna was here also.
She was.
All right.
Ah, she went ahead. I see. He steps aside and he goes, please, this way.
And Socks, like before he leaves, actually goes and gets his bag back. Checks for shoes, you son of a bitch.
Shoes is in the bag.
Ah!
I'll check for my pixie. I haven't messed with that thing at all.
Oh my god, I forgot you had one.
It's just dead, dehydrated, and starved.
Very, very angry at you.
I'll drop a berry in there.
It immediately tells you to fuck off and closes the bag.
Socks just kind of scratches Shoes' head, puts the bag on, and goes after Delane.
Okay, so Delane waits until you're all out,
Mhm.
and then he starts walking, and you notice that there were more guards waiting for you out in the hallway.
Armed?
It's laying in
I mean,
line.
like,
Oh no, they've all got their spears.
looking defensive?
Same face that they always have, very neutral.
Okay.
As they're walking, Lotus is like hand in hand with Dolus because she doesn't want to let go.
Yeah. And so you walk all the way to the there's inside halls, so you don't have to go out the main entrance and then way back into the door. And you walk in through one of the side doors of the ministry hall, and all of the representatives are all set up where they would have been earlier that day. Maya's even back in her chair. She's got some bandages here and there, but she looks okay. There's a cleric sitting with her. And Arlashna is standing in the center of the room. Like, she gives a little wave.
Socks just kind of meekly waves back at her.
Do we have enough seats this time in Twinktania's section?
There are extra seats in Twinktania and Dragonlost's shared section.
Yeah, I'll go sit in my seat.
So you sit right next to Maya.
I kinda gesture to everyone else.
Next to them.
Just
I'll walk
file
over.
in.
Yeah, but as I'm like walking over, I'll like kind of get up like near Maya and it's just, I'm sorry about what occurred earlier.
It's fine. I can't hold it against all Aarakocra. Even though you're a little more specifically the Aarakocra to hold it against. But not. Arlashna explained. It's, you could do that kind of spell normally. Holds her stomach.
Well, kind of thinks for a second. Yes.
She goes, okay, well, that's horrifying. She like turns back straight and she's like, glad you're on this team.
It's
Twink leans
usually
over and goes,
green.
Good answer.
Yeah, no, it is usually green though, and he's gonna walk over to his seat.
Maya's just kind of sitting there and she like turns to Twink and she's like, good envoys. Good.
Yeah, they're okay, I guess.
Aww.
You could all hear that. He's a row in front of you in seats.
Oh yeah, he would have said it knowing they could hear it.
Socks makes a dumb little heart right next to his chest.
All those guards line up behind like the Dragonlost section of the seats, and they all basically form like a wall, so you could not turn around and leave the ministry room if you chose to.
Just
Oh, we're
ours?
in trouble.
Just yours.
Oh, that's some bullshit.
We're in trouble.
Stodden stands and he goes, well, Twinktania has arrived. You did so in quite violent fashion earlier. What do you have to say?
Nothing?
All of them are kind of sitting there. Interlational's like, I already explained to you, Prime Minister, that it is not them. He's like, of course. Because I have to deal with an avatar of Tiamat, as well as strange Starlost versions of Twinktanians.
Socks is kind of jittering in his seat a little bit, both uncomfortable and a little angry.
Dolus just kind of not fucking with this guy's tone, like doing what I was just doing, where he's kind of like on the arm of his chair, is like.
Not only were there multiple assassination attempts, but the Shadestep Harbor riddled with an attack most heinous. These shadowy duplicates of you appeared on board our ships and began crossfire upon each other. Not to mention whatever that strange magical retaliation was from the Admiral of Twinktania, and he gestures to the back of the room, where you all suddenly turn to see Lorelei chained up in front of a bunch of guards. Just
Question for you, Sodden.
aye.
Where's the proof?
Proof.
Yes.
The
'Cause
crew of
she
4
was
ships.
with us.
He kind of like fumes, and he's like, crews of 4 ships watched individuals who looked like you, and he points at Twink, and you, and he points at Socks. He's like, and you, and he points at Dolus. He goes, appear on their decks, man the cannons, and open fire upon one another and your own ship. Don't ask me why. I don't know what you're trying to do, incite some sort of incident.
I'm gonna stand up on my chair and start looking around. Do I see Lina in the group?
You do.
I point out and say, hey, Lina, what time did we leave our apartment?
Lina's just like, around 12.
Okay, what time was the attack on the harbor from the cruise?
Around 12:15.
Do you think we could have made it all the way down to the docks?
No.
Are you calling your own man a liar, Sodden?
Sodden kind of is like, I do not know by what strange magic you did what you did. Clearly the shades that appeared were not properly you. However, the damage they did was viable, and Lorelei kind of like bangs her chain. She's like, the damage they did to my ship!
And Sox goes, Lorelei, you know we didn't do it.
She's like, no, I'm telling him. Shut the hell up, Socks.
Why would I sink my own ship? And then when I say my, I kind of look at Lorelei, I go,
Kind of like squids. She's like, yes, why would Twinktania sink their own ship? All of those lovely shades you keep talking about opened fire on the Bor de Lais. My life's work.
to be fair, we only came with one. What am I gonna leave in?
Lorelei, you said that, and she got processes it, and all of a sudden it's like, what am I gonna leave? How are you gonna leave? He just looks
And
exasperated in her
Socks,
seat.
As Lorelei kind of goes through a crisis, he stands up and goes, also, you saw us defend Maya at the front. So how can you logically claim that we were also the attackers if we were the ones defending?
I've seen stranger magic in my years.
Right, I'm sure you have. Dolus kind of like puts his arms up. He's like, but this lovely woman, points over to Granny, as you have told us, has explained to you the situation. So either you are unable to process this information, which if you need some time, we can give it to you, or you're too stubborn to.
All right, Dolus, maybe you'll leave the talking to me.
Sodden goes to speak, and then suddenly he's interrupted, and he's like, it's Fagin speaking this time. And he goes, look, I trust you. I do. Mainly because I know that you didn't commit the assassination. And I believe in you. Adventurers are a difficult lot, for certain. And as you all look to Fagin, you realize he's sitting on the representative seat for the Empire.
Oh, and Sox kind of goes, Before we were only told about an attempt.
Concurrent with the attack on the Shadestep Harbor and the destruction of Twinktania's vessel, Emperor Nolan Taralon was slain in his quarters by an Aarakocra. I watched it myself.
And Sox looks over to Granny and goes, "How is that possible? She was on the boat."
Narlashna shrugs and she's like, "Can't be everywhere at once."
Oh boy.
And Fagin kind of rests. He's like, "I serve now as temporary representative until the conference can conclude. And I can return to the Empire and inform the Empress."
Was it a shade?
No, Bolero Cochra.
Which one did it look like?
Neither. Just Aarakocra. No mask. No strange robes, and he gestures to both of you and he goes,
And Sox just kind of drops a little bit, and he's like, "So what is it then? Are you here to accuse us or here to ask for help?"
I don't think they need our help, Socrates. I'm not sure that was the way to phrase that.
Son goes, "Of course we don't need your help. We're here to decide if we cut off your heads or throw you to the ocean."
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
And then Drachtisbergus on the other side goes, "That's bullshit. They protected us. We at Yubiwa, we pay our debts. Strange magics are going on, to be sure, but it doesn't seem to be their doing." Sodden finally is like, "So, is this to be another, outvote in that case?" And Illis in her seat finally speaks in the nicest voice anyone has ever heard. Like the most beautiful, sonorous tone, just...
Sarah McLaughlin.
She just speaks. She just goes, "Twinktania is a group of representatives. It's already agreed upon. Of course, a conference of world leaders would face a few assassination attempts, and besides, Nolan was due to die any day now. Humans don't last long." And she goes back to sipping her tea.
Sox actually kind of avoids
Megan's
snickering.
kind of just like,
Yeah, Dewey's like... God damn, she said that.
Is Petrin there?
yeah, Petrin's standing right next to her.
Sox looks at
His
Petrin
captain guard.
just with like the suppressed smile on his face.
He's got the helmet on, so you can't tell what he's doing, but he's kind of tense. And Sodden goes, "I do not weep for the Emperor."
Shocker.
And he goes, "But are we going to let the crime go unpunished?"
What's the crime? What are you charging us with?
Regicide. Turn.
I don't think you have the right to charge us with a crime from another country. And it turned to Fagin.
Mm-hmm. It's nodding. "Oh, no, I'm not charging you. It's outside my purview. Just a ranger from the west."
And Sox kind of looks back to Sodden and goes, "You can't charge us. So?"
Kind of sits there and he's like, "So am I to disperse the conference? Continue the conference? Adjourn the meeting? What say you, Arlashna?" Granny kind of in the middle is just like, you were the one who called the meeting, and if no one's agreeing with you, I do remember that there's a dinner on in a few hours. Sodden kind of is really angry, and he's like, and what am I to do with my harbor? Drops his forges on the other side, just kind of goes, perhaps defend it better.
Oh, this feels so good!
Comedy Central's the roast of Shadestep.
Yeah. Sodden's like, I so appreciate the fact that Shadestep had the honor convening this conference.
Can we please discuss letting my admiral go?
Lorelai's like, Sodden snaps his fingers, and Delane walks over and like drops the chains to the floor, and she's like, and then she waits until almost everyone's turned away except Twink, who's still looking at her, and she decks Delane in the side. And he's just like, she flips you off.
Acceptable.
And Sodden goes, so then, Alashna? Granny goes, well, just as eventful as the last meeting, wouldn't you say? I have work to get back to. After all, we've got so many great reveals today that I quite properly excited to handle. And he claps and she's gone.
So it's like, God damn it, again!
All the envoys are kind of like dispersing. Fagin's just sitting there though, with the rest of the starlings standing around him.
Fagin.
You
I want to talk to Fagin.
Yeah. So Twink starts walking down the stairs away from you all.
Come up. Is there a seat next to him open? Because I'm not gonna be able to stand in front of him.
There's like an
I'm not
open
gonna be able to
space.
see over the thing.
He sees you kind of walking over, and he gets down and goes, would it offend you if I knelt?
A little bit, but it's okay.
He kneels down. He's like, I once had a gnome friend who was similarly offended when I knelt.
Yeah, it's a pretty common thing amongst most gnomes.
He was the bravest sorcerer I ever knew.
Is he dead?
Yes. He was lost in our battle on the mountaintop.
Dude, we need to have a discussion about your friends. Like, you should keep them alive.
But he was only of... Right, Nolan. Yes. I see.
What
I don't
happened?
quite say that the Emperor and I were friends.
That probably begs a better chance for him to be alive.
All right, well.
Hey, you disrespect me, I disrespect you. I think we're even now.
Fair enough.
What happened?
We were sitting, discussing the assassination attempt that not your friend made.
This is
When I
completely
was-
separate from us, though.
I'm sorry, I did not know. I was struck from behind, and as I laid there, fading between consciousness, I watched an Aarakocra stab my emperor.
God, he was useless, huh?
He was not exactly a fighter.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
How's the Empress going to take this?
Well, it's not wide spoken of, but the marriage between the Emperor and the Empress is not one done of love.
No. It's a shame.
She'll find another Emperor. She's a dwarf. The Emperor's a human. She'll find another human. Both sides will be represented. Stonekeeper will move on.
And
However, this is the first time in 500 years an Emperor has been assassinated. I myself
Right.
prevented an assassination against Nolan years ago.
Ah, no wonder it didn't work this time.
You only get one, apparently.
Apparently. So, I suppose when you give this information back to her, Twinktania is going to be left out of it?
Twinktania did not commit any sort of atrocities. In fact, all I saw today was Twinktania being assaulted and trying their best to stop assassination.
You're a good man, Fagan.
Actually,
If you need anything, let me know.
there is some good news to come out of this. Nolan was one of the firmest proponents of unreliables. Perhaps without him on the seat, a more reasonable emperor could hold his sway in the council and the votes could swing.
Perhaps.
I'll do my best to keep you all informed. Is there a place I can send letters to? A Twinktanian mailbox, perhaps?
Well, there's a place. I'll let you know later.
Also,
oh, never mind.
he kind of like leans in and he goes, I was speaking to my friend Petrin. Two of us discussed boats, ships, the like. And then Arlashna came to both of them. We may be able to help you in some way. It will take time, though.
He kind of leans over and points at Lorelai and goes, she's the main point of contact for this.
Of course. Can you tell her to not hit me?
No.
Okay. Fantastic.
You know how these things go.
Yes.
Okay. Have a great one. I'm going to slap his shoulder and walk off.
He sits back in the chair and he's just like...
Obviously, politics are not for him.
Yep.
He was an adventurer.
During this, Lotus is just gonna kind of like, Dolus, I didn't understand a word. What happened? We're not getting executed?
No.
Okay,
Well,
that's the
yeah.
good thing.
Right. They have no grounds to.
Okay. Alright, yep, that's the best possible outcome. What are we gonna do about the not Lotus?
Well, apparently they're in Euboa, so I'd assume that would be our next destination.
Sox kind of chimes in and goes, yeah, and it seems that that's where we'd find Archibald as well. And hopefully we can put an end to the Starlost versions of us. Or at least
Right.
of Lotus and Kieran.
I told Atronon that I'd take care of Archibald, so I firmly am sticking to this plan.
I agree wholeheartedly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go see if I can find an elusive elf.
Oh, wait, I have a question I want to ask her, so I also want to come with you. Is that okay? Just turns to Dolus.
Right, go ahead.
Okay.
And Sox is going to head out of the meeting room into just one of the hallways.
As you go towards the hallway, your Petrin kind of steps aside, but not leaving Illis. And he goes, Socrates.
Yeah.
3rd floor, 4th door on the left.
Sox goes, what would I do without you? And he kind of winks at him and then heads up.
Bye, dog man. Goes back to his spot.
Like, he turns around, he's like, shut up.
Dog man.
I'm going to turn to Mara, who I'm assuming is who there. We're still sitting.
You were all sit together. So
Yeah, and so I'm just like, well, what do you make of all this?
I'm not into politics, man. I'm just here.
Yeah, I apologize that you were kind of cast into this beyond your will,
Glad to help.
and I hope you are. You saved a man's life earlier today. Well, many, but specifically one that we cared about.
I'm honestly surprised that worked. I seen a few deaths in my time that I really thought he was gone.
Where do you think he is now? We didn't ask that.
I have no idea. You want to go wander around?
Sure. Should we get Twink?
Sure. Going out.
I would start walking towards Twink. Twink, would you like to come with us?
Where are we going?
Looking for Eggold.
How much time do I have before said dinner?
3 hours. It's like,
Yeah, I'll go with you guys.
Right. And then, like, as Twink like catches up when I start walking towards the door, his Dolus kind of hands in his pockets. He's like, "I apologize for my outburst earlier when I might have soiled a bit of Twinktania's name. I just
That's what I was worried about. I was more worried about us getting killed.
right. I know multiple, seemingly omnipotent and all-powerful beings, and it rubs me the wrong way when I see someone pretending to be one."
Kind of give him a pat on the elbow because that's probably all I can reach.
I
It'll
like
be like-
that a lot. I like that a lot.
Like, me too, Dolus. Me too. But I don't know a whole lot of omnipotent people.
Well, you met two earlier.
Sort of.
As you guys are walking out, Lorelai is there, and she goes, "So that was a whole lot of that was bullshit. That was all bullshit."
What'd you do to put you in the chains?
Well, first I was trying desperately to save my ship.
Right.
Then they were asking who the ship belonged to. Then I said
Right.
me.
Right.
Then I tried to dive off the dock. But
See,
apparently
that's
that
where it
me.
was. That's where it was. Yeah.
I just wanted what was left of my boat.
All right. Well, here's what's gonna happen. That one, and then we'll point back at Fagin.
Mhm.
Is gonna help us get another boat. Okay, so I told him to contact you about that.
Is he going to help get all of the entire collection of magical items I had in my cabin back?
We'll talk about that another time.
I can probably do that
You gotta-
tomorrow.
That's true. Mara could probably do that.
Good.
You're gonna have to say please.
That wall is worth more than your entire country.
No, I'm pretty sure I got about 200,000 gold in my country.
If you touch my retirement, I will turn you from a gnome into a knot.
Do you want the magical items or not?
She turns to Mara and she goes, "Please."
Technically, everything on that boat is part of Twinktania.
I wasn't gonna bring that up.
I got you.
Thank you.
Did you
Are
manage
you
to
looking
pick
for the
anything up
wounded?
at all
What was
from
that?
your boat? Oh, I said, you managed to pick anything up from your boat, or is it just all
No.
gone?
It's all sitting at the bottom of the Shadestep Harbor, except the mast, which is just long enough to stick out the top.
Oh, you should be able to find it pretty easily.
Yeah, I should.
It's fine. We'll be fine.
She gets kind of this sullen look on his face, or her face, and she's like, "They still haven't found Walk."
Didn't see him on the boat.
Eggold and Harmon are in the infirmary.
I could also look for him while I'm down there.
If you find him tomorrow, I think I'd rather not know.
You could tell me.
How do you do that, by the way? How are you able to find people?
Well, I think he meant when he's getting the items.
Well, right, but he also like a wanderer on the boat. Like he said, like I am good at finding people.
When you drift around enough, just kind of know where the crowd falls, you know?
You also turned into a shark earlier. Is that
Mhm.
also a product of from wandering.
Yeah, pretty much. All of it. Everything you see here.
Yeah, you know.
Another Pulse character that won't tell us what class they are.
Right. I should wander more.
I could take you on adventures, man. There's some wild shit out there.
Maybe one day after stop this kind of gestures like everything around him.
Lorelai kind
Maybe
of
we
sits
should
there. She's like, "Yeah, let's go." She just starts walking up down the hall.
As they walk into like the hallway, Dolus just kind of like, what was that? What did the annoying one, angry one, what was his name? Sodden. What was it he mentioned? He said that he has to deal with us and something I don't remember. They had said Tiamat?
That
What is it?
wasn't important.
Okay.
Their problem to deal with.
Alright.
I'm kind of interested in that god.
What god?
Oh, we're the whole star being dead thing.
Oh.
Lorelai's like, "What the fuck happened while you were passed out?"
People lose consciousness. They don't think straight when they wake up.
We had a party.
We did
She
have a
squints.
party.
She squints at you.
We did have a party.
Goes, "So you're telling me that there is no strange information that I should know that you
You
received?"
should know. Not you specifically, no.
She turns and keeps walking. Doesn't
If you want to know, that's like a different thing entirely.
We'll talk about it later.
Probably not.
Where are we going?
Well, I guess to the infirmary.
We're gonna meanwhile over to Lotus and Socks, who by now would have made it to the 3rd floor.
Yeah. And Socks heads toward the door that Petron told him to go to, and then right before he gets to it, he stops, turns to Lotus and goes, "You want to know one of the greatest tricks about Granny? She always knows before you knock. So why don't you go and try and knock on the door?"
Gonna walk up to the door.
Right before your fist hits it, you just hear, "Come in."
I'll be honest, part of me was really hoping she was gonna knock before she said anything.
See, that's what we gotta do. I gotta have you guys not knock a dozen times so that when it actually goes through, you're like, "What?"
"Where's Granny?" And Socks opens the door and goes, "Hi, Granny."
You open the door, and you're immediately met by a full library.
Oh, fuck!
And at a table in the center is Arlashna with just a huge, various piles of books. And she goes, "Hello. I don't need to sleep, so this is far more engaging."
And Socks goes, "And before you ask, Lotus, no, it's not like me. I still need to trance. Granny hasn't been even semi-conscious in at least 1,000 years."
I wasn't thinking about that at all.
And Socks goes,
You might overestimate her a bit, Sock.
Socks goes, "She'll get there, I think."
Of course.
And then he closes the door and goes, "Lotus never mentioned anything to the library about Socks, did she?"
I think so.
I think she mentioned it to Douglas, and Mara
so-
was there as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so Socks just closes the door and goes, "Of course they'd set you in the room with all the information that Shadestep has."
Well, I'd be able to come in here if I wanted anyways, even if I wasn't visiting and they didn't know I was here, so why not just actually give it to me?
You know, Granny, sometimes I feel like I underestimate you.
Probably. By the way, Socrates, the books you want, there. And she points at a corner of the table.
Okay. And he just reaches over to the books and looks back at Lotus, who looks very lost.
There's so many books.
Socks went, yes, Granny really enjoys reading, if not just being told stories.
You know what books I want to find too?
No, I don't. I picked those ones out for Socrates.
Is it okay if I ask you a question?
Of course.
Since you seem to know a lot of people, do you happen to know who Raiden is?
And she gets this kind of little look on her face and she goes, yes, I do. An Eldritch Knight, one of the best of his breed.
He was
Nice.
really strong.
Tall, dark hair, good beard. Yes, I know Raiden. We're quite close.
Since you're using present tense, I can assume he's alive?
Last I was aware, yes.
And that last would be...
About 6 months ago. Would you like me to check in on him for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. So you watch Zerlashna just kind of closes her eyes. Really deep breath. And then she kind of like... She goes, that's strange. He always just lets me look.
Is something wrong?
Don't worry. We just have a deal that when I check in, he doesn't mind if I peer. But it seems this time he minded a tad bit. He's in Dragonlost. I see him on a cliff. He's looking down at the ocean. He has let himself go a tad. Goodness, please shave.
Socks kind of touches his beard as he hears that.
She goes, oh my. He dispelled me! And she gets like this really offended look on her face. She goes, I am going to have words with that man. Ugh.
Okay.
So you're his little bird.
Well, one of the two.
Right, big brother.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Raiden talks a lot about you.
He was the one who took care of us when we came to here.
She kind of nods. She goes, changing planes. It's disorienting when you don't mean to.
Mm-hmm. The gravity here is heavy.
At least you have wings.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd like, you can take a look at any of the books. They're not mine, so I'm just giving you permission on my behalf. I won't tell anyone, though.
Okay,
Socks, as he's listening to the conversation, like, pans through the covers of the books.
They're all about werewolves.
Great.
But you notice that they're all books you've never read about werewolves. Which is saying something from the person who's been desperately trying to research werewolves for the last year and a half.
Yeah. And so Socks begins flipping through the books, reading over them as they continue their conversation.
Socks.
Yes, Lotus.
Can you help me look for books? There's a lot of books.
Sure. And he puts down 2 of the books, but keeps the one he already had open. And he goes, "What are you looking for?" Not really looking up from what he, like, the pages he's panning through.
You want like a list of things I want to know?
Start with 1.
Gun.
Start with a different one.
What the fuck?
Lashna kind of just goes.
Sucks goes, "I'll tell your brother."
You're not supposed to say that word.
I want to look at gun. I want to make gun. I don't have a gun anymore.
Did you say you want to make guns?
Link's smart. He's good with his hands. Have
He
you seen his
probably
book?
already knows how to make one.
Okay, but like, shut up. And she's just gonna walk into the library to go look for gun book.
And Socks looks up and he's just like,
Gun book.
Socks is like, "Okay," and he walks in and searches for a book about guns.
Alright, Lotus, roll investigation with advantage, because Socks and you were looking for guns.
Excuse me, may I have your finest gun book?
That was a natural 20.
Natural 20, Lotus goes running in, and she's looking at all of these books, and she's looking, and she's looking, and she's looking. And then as you're looking over all of them, you see a side that says blueprint. And you remember really clearly Twink mentioning blueprints and diagrams when he was showing you the thing of the cannons. So you just jump up and grab it, and you flip it open, and it's all of these blueprints of cannons and weapons and boats.
Gun. This gun is a musket.
It's a must. It's a
And Socks looks at it and goes, "And what did you want to know about this?"
Look, there's a lot of different types of guns. So now I wanna ask Twink to make one of these guns for me. And I wanna this one.
Socks goes, "Okay." And he takes out his own notebook and plops it on top of the werewolf book, flips it open, and he goes, "Hold it up for a bit. I will take the best drawing I can."
all of a sudden you hear a voice behind you just go, "Why don't you just rip out the page?" You turn and our Lashna's just sitting there with her tea, like leaned up against the bookshelf.
Socks goes, "Because when I did that, the people at the Westwood got mad at me."
Yeah, but you still did it anyways.
And Socks goes, "Sodden has been quite a fucking solder." And he just goes, "Pull the page out, Lotus."
Yep.
She's very proud of herself.
Our Lashna kind of nods. She goes, "Good job."
And Socks puts his
She goes-
notebook back away.
The open end always points at someone you don't like.
The open end?
Of a gun.
The bear.
Oh.
And
Oh,
Socks,
yeah. Okay.
as he's putting his book away, goes, "Oh, right, Granny. Meet my friend." And Shoes kind of pokes up out of the bag.
And she goes, "Oh my goodness!" And she just like reaches in and pulls Shoes out. And she goes, "You are precious. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. What has Socrates put you through in this little bag?"
And Socks goes, "A lot."
Mm.
During this, she's gonna keep looking for other books.
Roll another investigation. But yeah, our Lashna's just snuggling up to Shoes, all excited.
And the book that Socks is reading, has he found anything interesting so far? Mostly
It's
pertaining
all
to
a-
cure.
There's nothing about a cure because it's all about the curse of being a werewolf, not as in like being bitten, about being cursed to be a werewolf.
And Socks kind of pans through and goes, "Granny, these books are all about werewolves that were cursed by gods. I was bitten."
You were bitten?
Yes.
Oh, that explains so much.
And Socks looks at her and goes, "What do you mean?"
Socrates, I'm going to need you to go sit down.
And he like slowly closes the book.
She like gestures to the chair back at the table that she was sitting at. She goes, right there.
Socks sits down with like perfect posture.
She goes, Socrates. And she like kneels down the way she used to do when like you were a kid and she was explaining things to you. And she goes, you're a werewolf.
Correct.
No, no. I don't mean you were turned into a werewolf. I mean, you're a werewolf.
No, I'm a high elf.
Well, yes. Who is a werewolf?
Granny, you're losing me here.
About 10,000 years ago, your great... That's too many. There should only be like 4. No. Great. And she's just like muttering to herself. She goes, great. How long do you elves? No. It doesn't matter. Your ancestor got someone big, someone powerful, very, very, very mad. And then it cursed them to turn into a werewolf.
And Socks goes, but neither of my parents, pretty sure they would have told me about it.
I don't know. Would you have told people about it?
I'm pretty sure I would tell my kids that they could become a wolf.
To be fair, your family hasn't been wolves for about 2 generations before you. They pretty much figured the streak would keep going.
Are you telling me I am a true-born lichen?
Yes. Like your great-grandfather. No, not great. Yes, great-great-grandfather? Great. I don't know. It's been quite some time. Your ancestry are werewolves and blood hunters. They're the reasons there aren't werewolves in the Westwood anymore.
Blood hunters, they hardly exist anymore.
Well, of course, because they're not needed anymore.
Right.
Your grandfather, after suddenly not manifesting the curse after thousands of years, decided he didn't want to be a blood hunter. He just wanted to be another member of the Westwood. It's on your mother's side, also, just in case you're wanting to be specific.
Okay.
And then she wasn't a werewolf, and for the longest time you weren't a werewolf, so we all sort of just, thought it best to not mention it. Well, I thought your family would mention it to you, personally, but also, I wasn't going to judge if they didn't.
And
Sordid
now
affairs
here I
and all
am.
that. Mm-hmm.
How does a bite factor into this?
I have no idea.
You never have no idea.
I have no idea all the time. Sometimes the most important part of knowing something is knowing that you don't know something. That's why we have books. She gets like really happy.
And Socks kind of
Lotus
looks down.
lifts one of the books that she has when she says that.
It's a book all about the elemental plane.
And Socks kind of like opens the book again and turns and goes, cursed lichens don't have control of when they can change.
And you do, don't you?
In the battle against one of my students, I chose to attempt to defend.
How'd that work?
I electrocuted everyone, including my cat.
Ooh, that's not a normal werewolf thing.
No, you know.
Sorcerer thing. Right.
Right, and I assume
She suddenly goes, you electrocuted the baby?
I didn't mean to, Granny.
He electrocuted me too.
How is she alive? She like looks down in awe at you.
Socks goes, real trooper, I assume. What?
And he electrocuted you.
Yep.
You electrocuted 2 children. And she like swats you on the forehead.
He's like, I didn't mean to. It happens with wild magic.
Don't use wild magic. She just keeps flicking you.
I didn't. It happens.
Just, you and your curses. Kind of stands. It's like, ugh. After thousands of years of the Enshu family being nice and regular, here you are stirring everything up. That's why you're my favorite.
Oh, I'm your favorite.
Don't tell Fina I said that. It would break her heart.
Oh God, no. I'm so going to tell Petrin, though.
That's okay. I've also called him my favorite. The 2 of you get to bicker about that now.
That's messed up. And
Lotus,
Fox,
by now you have found all of your books.
And Sox looks at Granny and goes, so blood hunters.
Mm-hmm. That would be, and she like goes through the stack of books she got you, and she goes, this one.
And Sox kind of takes it, and before he opens it, he goes, so because it's a curse, I assume there's no getting rid of it.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
All right. And what about
Talk to a god, make a wish, discover ancient and powerful magics.
Sox goes, the green one. Sox heard the name, right? When they had that conversation in the apartment. Yeah.
Dolus also told him.
Yeah.
The green one. Kaeli?
Kaeli. Yes. She's probably not going to be able to help you. She likes to talk about how she's a god, but between you and me, not as powerful as some of the gods.
Good to know. And this.
Mm-hmm.
This is how my family dealt with the curse.
Yes. Being a blood hunter is a very difficult path to choose, but if you do so, then it can help.
And he goes, didn't blood hunters usually have a whole order in order to be able to do this?
Well, yes, but that's when there were several hundred of them around the entire world and not a dozen or so.
And how possible do you think it would be for me, alone?
Oh, well, alone. Nearly impossible, but you're not alone. And she kind of like gestures to where Lotus is going through books, and she goes, you have friends.
I suppose I do.
Plenty of people to help you. Now, you start reading. I'm going to go help the little one figure out what she's doing. And then you also, while I'm gone, apologize to this little bean. And she puts her shoes down in your lap.
And Sox kind of like cups her face and is like, I am still sorry, little one. He has been apologizing to her every day since it's happened, by the way.
God.
She's
a cat. She's a cat, so she's very uncomfortable with the face
Yeah.
cupping.
At one point in time, Lotus is like climbing on the shelves to get to the higher ones. Higher books.
Arlashna kind of walks up and pushes a ladder, and it slides on the rails until it goes bink into Lotus's hand.
Oh. This is more fun.
The shelf breaks.
Ah, fuck!
You land just fine because you're only like 5 feet off the ground, but the shelf breaks. And there are now a bunch of books at your feet.
Oops.
She goes, it's okay. Sodden has to fix it.
Sodden is the prickly one, right?
Yes.
And then she's gonna take a bunch of books and then she's gonna push it to the floor.
And she goes, okay, well, we don't have to do that.
Prick.
But they are books. They are innocent.
And she's gonna start
We're
picking the books back up and start putting them back.
We're gonna, meanwhile, while Lotus picks up books and Sox reads to the group that has entered the infirmary, Mara regularly trying to convince Dolus that he needs to become a wanderer. Dolus being like, yeah, one day. Yeah, nope, not today. One day. Yep.
Come on, bro.
And Twink and Lorelai just sort of walking along. So you walk in, and the infirmary is full.
Can we go in and look around for
Yeah,
our two?
As you walk in, cleric, this really uppity drow girl comes up. She goes, oh my gosh. Yes, what's the problem?
We're looking for 2 people, Harmon and Eggold. Don't know if you know anyone here by name, but
I don't know anyone by name, I'm sorry.
one man missing an eye, the other one gash.
Recently missing an eye?
No,
Okay, and she like just sort of walks along.
thank you. So I'll
So
go over.
You walk down there, and Harmon and Eggold are laying next to each other. Harmon's like sitting up at his bunk. He's got like a bowl of soup that he's just and Eggold is clonked.
Hello, Harmon.
Harmon just goes and he like throws the bowl down. He's like, ah! It's the
I'm
worst
like,
soup
right
I've ever had in my life.
like right in Eggle's face. He asleep.
Wait,
Is he asleep?
go away.
I start like smacking him on the face.
God. He's like, I died earlier. Can I have a moment of peace?
You're welcome.
Harmon goes, your moment of peace was when you died. Embrace it, Goldie. You'll never get another one again.
I like
Goes,
this guy's style.
Eggle's like, I had a moment of freedom.
It's a damn shame we brought you back, huh?
Yeah. Really
I
thought it
couldn't
was
let-
cut and dry there.
Couldn't let the best boat rower I know go to waste.
Yep, I drive the boat. That's my thing. He kind of opens his eyes really slowly, and he's like, oh, there's more of you than just Twink here. Hello.
Yo.
I'm glad to see you're all right.
And he points at Mara and he goes, you're you're...
You
What's
can
his
do
name?
it, Mara.
Mara, hello.
Hi.
I heard you
How
kept
you
me from
feeling?
dying.
Yeah.
I feel not dead, but kind of like I wish I was dead.
I also thank Twink over there for this
Oh.
weird. What did you do?
Are you
Yeah,
talking
what
to
did
me?
you do?
Yeah, I'm talking to Twink.
I just used the thing I had.
Pretty handy. Thank you.
To be honest, I
Kinda-
wasn't sure it would work.
He's like, okay, well, not dead. And he reaches into like all of his stuff that's on the floor next to him. And he goes, he pulls out a bunch of papers. He goes, that's for Mara.
Paper, and I'll grab the paper.
He goes, yeah, Archibald came back to the boat for her. He was very, very excited to show you. And then, I got shot and stabbed and etc.
Always got to make it about you, huh, Eggled?
Yeah, I do.
I'll do like the morning newspaper thing.
You flick it open and it's a star map. It's a star chart. And Eggold's like,
no, it's about to cry.
and Eggold's like, yeah, the kid said he forgot that in his desk and started showing me all of them. I guess if I hadn't stopped him to talk, he might have not been on the deck.
Start like shaking a little bit here as I'm reading.
So you get this strange rush of clarity in your head that you haven't felt ever since the first time you ate one of those berries.
Holy shit.
And for a brief second, you get a flash in your head of a strange temple under the night sky in the ocean. Then everything's fine. You really feel like you need a berry, though.
I need a minute, guys, and I'm gonna like do sort of like a sort of a twisty thing where like where like they'll what is it, kind of like coil, I guess, a map and then just put it in the pocket.
Oh,
Yeah.
like wrap it up.
You wrap it up and...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Are you all right? We're in the infirmary if you need anything.
I'm good. they can't help me.
Okay, that's not reassuring at all.
Eggle goes, okay, I thought they were neat drawings, but whatever. He goes, he dropped his whole book during the kerfuffle.
His book.
His book. And he like reaches down, he pulls up a bunch of like a sketch pad, and he's like, there's lots of stuff in here. I woke up like an hour ago. I had plenty of time.
Nice.
They're all kind of wet though.
Should leave them to dry a bit before we go through them.
And Harmony goes, you're all acting like someone died. Oh, someone did die. Goldie, you died.
So he's kind of dragging a stool over and like puts it next to Harmon's bed and jumps up on it and looks at him and goes, you seen Walk?
Walk. Last I saw Walk, he was making breakfast. Ah.
A long time ago, Harmon.
I don't go down below decks quite often. I love the sea spray in my face. And then I got a staff to the face. By the way, what did I do to anger the little bird?
That wasn't her.
I see. It makes quite a lot of sense. She's never hit me before.
Well, if she did, it would feel like that, so remember that.
Oh. It was quite good. It sent me on a wee riling round, and then I was in the ocean. Yeah, that's because she threw you in the ocean, Eggled. Kind of like this.
We met
And
someone.
Harmon goes, and then she took my gun.
Oh. Lotus is just, even in any version of Lotus, she's always taking people's fucking guns.
Just burning guns. All right, so you don't know where Walk is?
Nah.
Okay, well, what about the elf? How do you know her?
Which elf? The one on the boat.
Our last
Stockings.
Arlashna, that was it.
Lash. Oh, the beauteous Arlashna. And he kind of like leans back and he's like, met her when I was a young lad. Went on quite nary a many adventure. It's also how I met a few other friends. So I met Fairmont.
How many did you say were in your party before?
In our party for? 5?
Well, that leaves 2. Raiden, at least 1. Who was the last one?
It's the last one in our party. Oh, last one in our party. What party?
Fuck. You know she's here, right?
Oh, Arlashna. Oh, Arlashna. A fair beauty she was. I met her when I was a young lad.
Rick's gonna punch him in the face.
He deck him in the face. He goes, "Ah!"
You already said that.
I did already. Arlashna was with me when I lost it.
Your eye.
No, me mind.
Okay,
All
think
I
this exactly
remember
what
is
it
stars.
He just jumped off the stool as walking away. Is he still
Oh.
mumbling?
He goes, but wait, hey, you there, Master Gnome.
Turns back around.
Fairmont would want you to hear this.
Fine.
If you've been lost, you need only look in Yubwa, neath the Temple of the Crow. It's where I intended to take you in the first place, but I'm not going anywhere. See, when that little ass cracked me across the face, he looks down and goes, well, the little piggies don't quite work no more. What was that? I didn't hear that.
Harmon, just want you to know I'm not going anywhere without you.
Oh! Are you gonna carry me on your back?
Fuck no. We'll figure
Might
it out.
not be worse than crawling.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you, Master Gnome. Nagel kind of sits there. He's like, well, one boat got eaten by sea serpents. Then we time traveled. Then the other one blew up. Because alternate dimension versions of all of you that happened to be evil decided to, go rogue and attack us and blow up the boat.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's something we should really be proclaiming very loudly in this very crowded infirmary.
He kind of nods and goes, yeah, no, that's a good point. I might be concussed.
That would make sense.
Kind of nods a little more, and he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go back to bed.
All right, Daggle.
Okay. Good night, fuckers. Then he closes his eyes and he pulls the blanket over his face.
Good night. Dolus is gonna kind of take a couple steps towards Harmon, and he's like, Arlashna, she told us something about you. Said that, and then he's gonna kind of lean in, until and kind of start whispering a bit. It's like that you're in a group of people, small group, preventing what happened earlier.
Aye.
Are you aware of that?
That I'm in a group.
Yes.
Aye, there's a group of us right here.
that you're in a group with Arlashna.
Oh, I remember I was in a group with Arlashna when I was a young lad.
Rest well, Harmon. Dolus stands back up and turns around.
Perfect.
Let's go. He kind of gestures to Mara because Twink was already kind of on his way.
I'm already out.
Oh, you? Oh yeah,
I went out
you
way
left.
earlier.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't
Mara
know if you
stepped
left.
outside.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
Just-
Twink, you would walk out, Mara would be out in the hallway.
You doing all right?
Yeah. I'm
Are
just
you sure?
I'm staring at the ground. I think so.
What happened?
You ever looked at these before?
No, you looked at them and walked out.
I haven't heard about these in 80 years.
Before my time. May I see them?
I'll hand over the star map to him.
I'm gonna kind of unfurl the little rope. I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna look at it.
A nice little star map.
Wow, it's definitely interesting.
Come with me, and I'll start pointing over. But we'll start heading towards the docks, just to have a nice walk.
Towards the dock.
So you walk out into the Royal Promenade. You guys are a quarter of a mile from the docks, so you'd have to walk down that pathway. But you can.
Cool. Where are we going?
Is
You can go to
Twink
the
with them?
docks. Yeah, are you coming?
Okay, yeah. So 3 of you walking down.
Why are we going to the docks?
Just to mostly tell you guys about maps.
Right.
I know
Dolus.
I've I thought these were children's tales, honestly, but it's real. It's all real. This map can lead to something fantastic.
Right. And Dolus is gonna reach into his breast pocket and he pulls out a rock. He's like, "We're going to the decks." He speaks to Lotus. And he puts it back in the pocket.
I mean the docks.
Oh, did I say decks?
It's too late now. Too late now.
Shit.
I'm gonna pull up the spoon when she hears that. Okie dokie. Socks and I are in the library. That's it.
Cool.
Erlashon watches you talk to the spoon that just talked to you and she goes, nifty.
I was like, who are we hanging around with? Because, like, depending if we're meanwhiling or not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a quick cut to you three sitting there around that table as you all read and the spoon talks.
Okay.
Cool.
Come back to us eventually.
Yeah, back to the docks. Mara, you were saying?
So, to comprehend this, because I always thought this was just something, sort of a tale, child's book, but it's real. I think this
What
is
is
proof.
it?
This is a star map, and I've been told that if we gather enough clues, there might be a star map that will imbue the power to make a wish come true.
Oh,
I never believed it. It was just something I was told to fall asleep to, but God.
and so how did you gather that from this?
I had a vision.
Oh,
Some temple in the water,
okay.
and I'll take like my berries and just throw them as far as I can.
Did you were there people at this temple?
I would assume not, right? It was just like
Nope. You saw a flash of a strange octagonal temple.
just some strange temple out in the water.
Why did you just throw the berries?
I don't think I need them anymore.
Really?
What they all say at first.
Wait, what?
So that's what they all say at first.
But like, what if we need them? I mean, those seem to have magical property. What can so you can read this map?
Mm-hmm. I can. Every single piece of it.
I see.
It brought me back so far. A lot is like coming back to me a little bit. I've been wondering for a while. Long time. Drifted, kind of trying to forget things, but I think you'll have me. I'd love to join you guys.
Well, Adolus kind of looks to Twink.
I'll be honest, I thought he was already a part of the group.
Same with me. I mean, you're an envoy of Twinktania, so.
Well, maybe at least not go that far.
We would. I mean, I can't. I don't know if I can speak for Socrates, but everyone else.
He'll be fine with it.
Right. We are happy to have you.
Maybe the temple, Harmon, or was it Harmon or Eggle had mentioned it?
It was Harmon.
Harmon. Maybe the temple he mentioned could also be connected to this.
Right.
Wait, that's not in the water, though.
No?
No, he said that was in Yubawa. It'd be on land.
Seems pretty unfortunate that we gained someone with the ability to read star maps right as we lost our person who makes star maps.
Right? Maybe that should be our first thing we do when we leave here.
Right.
I figured as well, if I stick with you guys, maybe I'll get some answers from that man.
Don't get your hopes up.
Why is that? He mid just never answer your question. Does he just
You'll see.
You'll see. Dolus like agrees.
Dolus gives you a nice little pat on the back as you all look out. The sun is kind of starting to set, which I mean, it's saying something for Shade Step. All the lights are getting a little brighter already. Already sort of looked like twilight, and now it's starting to get really dark.
If you all excuse me, there's something I gotta find actually.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'll catch up with y'all later. I'm gonna spend the next however long looking through the streets, and I'll tell you what I'm looking for later, crowd, because we won't get to it in this session. But
Perfect.
Right. Well, I told Lotus that we would be here, so I guess we should stay. And like says tomorrow, and kind of like just sits down like near like a railing. He's like, care to join me?
Sure. I'll sit down next to him.
Wait, so why don't you want the berries anymore?
I felt clarity when I touched this. So my mind was clear again. These berries, if you take them in light doses, they won't do anything except make you happy, make you feel a little bit better about life, and just in general make you feel like, you know, nothing's going wrong in the world. That's kind of what I needed.
I'm assuming you didn't take them in small doses.
Oh no. 80, 70 so years. I've just been slowly shoveling them down constantly every day.
That's a lot of years.
I'm already kind of feeling them right now, and you should see him shaking a little bit. But I can get through this.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I would be much help, but if you need anything, I'm here, I suppose.
Appreciate that. I'll like
Okay. Gives him
Do
a
the
nice
thing.
little clap on the
Yeah.
back. That's great. All right. And then we go back to the library real quick.
Are we gonna say this is before or after the fucking sending
After
stone
the
goes off?
spoon. After
Alright.
the spoon.
After the spoon.
So, what has Socks gotten from the book so far? The Blood Hunter book specifically. In terms of becoming one.
History of it. You've learned that various magics that would need to be applied. You've read a lot about the taming, but it seems like there's not specific details on it.
Gotcha. And Socks at one point, you know, he was really enamored in the book, and he just kind of looks up and goes, Granny, you said you saw Archibald in Yubua.
Yes.
Is he okay?
He was asleep last I saw him.
Do you think they'd hurt him?
I think if they wanted to hurt him, they probably would have done it when he was on the sinking ship that was on fire.
Fair enough. And
If
Socks
you'd
kinda-
like,
Oh.
I can work with your artificer friend and maybe give you a way to see the way I do.
I'd like that.
Of course.
And then Socks kind of closes the book and readjusts a little bit and looks over at Lotus and goes, You know, I never quite addressed it.
Hmm?
What do you mean you're a monster?
I have my reasons.
And Sox goes, well, I figured out that my curse is less of an infection and more of a genetic deal. So what is it about yours?
We're in the exact same boat now, Socrates.
You know a lot more than you're letting on.
Isn't it bad to show all of your hands?
Some might say. Unless, of course, you trust the ones you show in your hand. As Granny said, every battle is easier with friends.
Erlashton kind of takes a sip. She goes, but every lady has their secrets.
You're not helping. Every battle is easier with friends, Lotus.
I mean, I trust you to have my back. But like what Dola said, maybe one day.
Sox goes. He kind of takes a second and goes, I may not know the reasoning, and I know you trust me to have your back. But after everything we went through today, I feel like I need a reason to know that you have ours.
He shuts the book with one hand. She's gonna turn to face him. What do you want to know, Sox?
Why are you two so object to taking off your mask? What lies beneath?
Told you. Our faces.
And Sox kind of chuckles a little bit and goes, I know. But I can't lie in saying that I'm not deathly curious.
Just gonna look over to Granny. I'm assuming you already know, right?
Me?
Mhm.
No, I could ask Kylie if I wanted, I'm sure. She loves to gossip.
Oh. I thought you would have scryed on Raiden during the time he was with us to see. But
Oh no, we actually had a bit of a falling out. We didn't talk to each other for a few years. Nothing rough, not that we didn't like each other. Just didn't want to talk for a little while.
Sox, what is knowing what our faces look like? How is that going to change anything?
And Sox looks at her and goes, call it peace of mind. Knowing that I know the face of my allies.
If I show you, Dulles will be very angry.
Sox goes, though you're not from there. It's a Westwood secret. And he takes her pinky.
Like half the size of your pinky.
Yeah, right.
I hope these secrets... Never mind.
Arlashna just raises a book up over her face.
What happened to No More Secrets?
And she takes her mask off.
Do you want to send Noah what he sees?
Which one?
You know.
I know you made a joke one. Cryo laughed about it the other day.
What?
You were laughing about something. You were laughing about something about Lotus's face, and that's all I know. So I have to assume it's some joke face.
I actually don't have it on. Hold on, I need to find it because I forgot to send it to myself.
In there. And Sucks is kind of shocked. A little taken aback just from what he studied. It's out of place. And he goes, so that's you. I mean,
Wish it wasn't.
Erlashna kicks you in the shin.
and he
you
looks
say
at
she
her.
looks nice.
Sucks looks back at her and goes, you are very beautiful, Lotus.
Save your words for somebody who cares.
Erlashna just snaps the book closed and goes, okay, all right then. I would like the library back to myself after this strange moment of tension. She like stands up and she's like, if you have any other questions, I'm here. I'll see you both at dinner. And you can keep the book. Socks. Sodden will never miss it anyway. She gives a little wave to Lotus, and then she freezes him in motion, goes, yes.
I was gonna do it anyway.
Snaps her fingers, and you were sitting in the main room of your little apartment. Feeling a little queasy.
Sucks goes, we haven't gone that far since Archibald.
Not a pleasant feeling. Nope. Nope.
Mm-mm.
So we're gonna end our session today.
So much
Beautiful.
more.
So much. Oh my
shit.
god. And now Mara's finally participating.
Mara's got story. Everybody's got story. We got to see Alt Kieran and Alt Lotus.
Fuck Alt Kieran. He
Or
flicked
just
me.
Kieran. You don't know.
It could be. Who knows? We didn't know the guy.
We don't know where Kieran is.
Kieran could be dead. A cloud of Azamar.
Just floating in a rowboat in the middle of the ocean, never made it anywhere.
He died.
of dehydration the next day. All he had was flavored bread and a dream.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Starlost Seas this week.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye.